If you've lived in Waco for a while, then you've probably heard about Floyd Casey Stadium and its significance to the community. But while the stadium is now long gone, the land has remained empty and unused since then. But now it's being transformed into a diverse housing development and all-inclusive park that city officials say will revitalize the area. News 10's Isabella Quintanilla gives us a look at this multi-million-dollar project and what this historic site will look like in the near future.
Floyd Casey Stadium, located at South 29th Street and Dutton Avenue in Waco, was home to Baylor University's football team for 64 seasons. Having first opened back in 1950, the stadium served both Baylor and the Waco community for many years, becoming a landmark for the city. The stadium closed back in 2013 for the new McLane Stadium, and on May 14, 2016, the historic football stadium was demolished after the city ended up with the property in a land swap with Baylor. After the stadium's demolition, the city was left with 72 acres of open land. For the past 8 years, it's been just dirt and grass. But soon, all of this will be transformed into a multi-million-dollar housing development and park. Jeremy Pacina, the city's assistant director of economic development, explained that there were many possibilities for this land, but they wanted to fill a need in the community.
Obviously, housing has been a huge need, and then seeing redevelopment inside the core of Waco in District 2 would be a huge win.
In 2019, the city began searching for a partner to help them achieve this, which is where Turner Brothers Real Estate came in.
The RFP was kind of an open concept of what you wanted to do. We sent in our concept, our ideas, so there was a pool of individuals and different companies that worked with the city on their ideas, and then we were picked.
Jonathan Garza, the director of development, says Turner Brothers proposed a neighborhood that has a diversity of housing, with lots ranging from as little as 2,250 square feet to as large as 20,000 square feet, and different price points for each.
Our goal was to create something to where the neighborhood could kind of grow up in that same area.
According to Garza, their neighborhood will have a mixed-use and residential district that includes 7 different types of homes, all integrated together in a walkable neighborhood that's connected to different parts of the city.
We've got trails within our portion of the neighborhood that connects to the city parks, and so we're working closely with them to make sure that those are connecting points to the park, to South Waco Rec Center, and then within the neighborhood as well.
The adjoining park, which is the other half of this project, is being overseen by the city's Parks and Recreation Department. Director Jonathan Cook explained that they've spent the last few years deciding what to do with the 30-plus acres of parkland and designing it.
It's going to really focus on inclusivity, an inclusive playground, renovations to our track complex, and really connectivity to the neighborhood that's already here, and then also the neighborhood that's going to be developed across the way.
Their park will also include a trail alongside the Waco Creek, a plaza area, and big lawn for people to gather, and plenty of other amenities for everyone to enjoy.
And this is going to be a regional destination for our whole community to be able to come together. That's the ultimate goal.
And to ensure this development represents the surrounding communities, Pacina says they have made sure to include them throughout this process.
There's obviously some fear whenever you're building something new into an existing community, but one of the things that we task Turner Brothers with is, make sure that you hold those open meetings, make sure that you communicate with the neighborhood, and then we're doing our part with the park and some of the trails to make sure that the neighborhood sees that we're not trying to replace them, we're trying to integrate this new neighborhood with them, because they're a super valuable part of who Waco is, and we don't want to lose that story. We just want to add to it.
The development aims to highlight the inclusion of Hispanic culture within the neighborhood and park in their designs.
One of the main goals is really highlighting a lot of the Hispanic heritage that we have in this area, and you're going to see that come through in the design of the park.
The neighborhood will also have streets named after local Hispanic figures. Armando Arvizu is the co-founder of the Cesar Chavez Neighborhood Association and a voice for the Hispanic community here in Waco. He says for so long they've had no strong sense of identity here in Waco, which he is working to change one step at a time.
I said to myself, well, we have over 31% Hispanic in the community, but we don't have anything to show for it or self-identity. So that was the driving force for me to spearhead, or my association to spearhead these street names.
7 streets within the neighborhood will be dedicated to these Hispanic figures, but they are still in the process of choosing who to name each street after.
Ernesto Fraga, he was a publisher at the Tiempo newspaper, which does not exist here in Waco anymore. And we also have Judge Fernando Villarreal. He was the first Hispanic judge in McLean County.
These local Hispanic leaders in our community made such a difference, and we want to be able to honor them and really tell that story.
This is a massive project that's been years in the making, so many people are now wondering when it will finally be completed. Both Turner Brothers and city officials say it will be a few more years. As you can see, construction is already underway, but right now it is just the horizontal construction, which is everything under or on the ground.
We started horizontal construction in October of last year. So a lot of what we're doing right now is your utilities, underground work, roads, and then working with groups like Encore and your cable providers to get all of their stuff within the site.
Once that is completed, they will begin vertical construction, which includes houses, playgrounds, and any other structure above ground. According to Garza, they anticipate to start that by the end of 2024.
Overall, it's a 5-year project. So as far as housing absorption goes, houses will be built, and hopefully over a 5-year period, the whole 259 houses will be completed.
As for the parks, the city is still finalizing their design, but they expect to start construction in spring of 2025, which will take anywhere from 12 to 18 months to complete. When it's finally finished, Pacina says this development will bring more families to Waco for years to come.
We lose a lot of families to the surrounding communities because there's newer homes, and newer homes are also the master developed neighborhoods where there's sidewalks and there's parks, and those are the amenities that families look for. And so for us, it's a high value to bring those families, instead of in a surrounding community or in a suburb, to bring them into Waco.
While it may not look like a lot is happening right now, the city of Waco and its partners are working behind the scenes to bring something to the community that they can cherish for many years to come. Reporting in Waco, Isabella Quintanilla, KWTX News 10.